In a big country with a population of 1.4 billion, Shenyang City has a population of just over 10 million. However, there was no one on the streets outside and no one in the store except for me and the cars. In previous years, on Christmas Day, the 25th, car buyers came into the store in an endless stream. But this year, not a single customer, not even one. Recently, many Chinese netizens have revealed online that the economy in northeast China is collapsing. Shenyang, the capital of Liaoning province, is the economic, cultural, and commercial center of northeast China. Its economic situation is facing difficulties and the unemployment wave is intensifying. The shops on the once bustling streets are now closed and the city is filled with the atmosphere of depression and despair. Today, we'll talk about the current situation in Shenyang. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and allows us to bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. Many shops and large shopping malls in this city are almost closed, with only a few shops remaining open. Do you know how many people are unemployed in Shenyang? Do you know how bad the economy is right now? Shops all over the street have signs saying "for rent, for trade, and for sale." If we go back 10 years, if you had a store, you could say you were financially free, and basically one store could support 3 generations. If you own a store now and your loan is not fully repaid, I believe you will be in hot water. Large companies are cutting salaries, laying off employees, and consolidating. At the same time, small businesses are closing down, one after another. If you have a relatively stable job that pays your expenses on time and covers your social insurance and housing fund, even if you only have $400 left after all kinds of deductions, don't quit your job easily, let alone think about starting a business, because there's a high probability of no success at all. Currently, the closure rate of physical stores is as high as 90%. What does this mean? It's so horrible. You go shopping in Shenyang on the weekend. There were originally 100 stores on the street. How many of them are still open now? In the once bustling areas of Shenyang, such as Middle Street, Dadong District, and Subway West, many commercial streets now have faded signs and locked doors. Many business operators revealed that the epidemic was just the fuse, and what really crushed these stores was the rising rental costs and government taxes. Can you believe that a KFC located on a popular street can actually go bankrupt? The stretch noodles that Shenyang people love to eat can also go up in smoke. Can you believe it? Sky Phoenix Street, once a popular internet celebrity street, has long lost its former prosperity. Now shops with signs for sale or for transfer are everywhere. Walking the small streets of the night market, you can see only several elderly people strolling around, and occasionally cleaning workers still working hard here. The small stalls are full of traces of time, and they have obviously been abandoned for a long time. In the context of corporate layoffs, people like us who are entering the midlife crisis want to do some business, but have to bear the high risk. If we are not careful, we may lose all our money. I really don't know what the way out is for people in their 40s. Oh my god, is there no night market in Shenyang? It's just past 9 o'clock in the evening in Shenyang. Many shops have already closed and the street is without a soul. I worked overtime and cannot find a place to have a midnight snack. I remember when I went to Sichuan before, there was even a traffic jam on the way back after playing mahjong at night. Sisters in Shenyang, do you think there is really no nightlife in Shenyang? The century-old Middle Street is in a life and death situation, with vacant shops increasing by 30%. Who is escaping and who is gambling? Today we came to Shenyang Middle Street. The golden shops that were once hard to find are now visible in big red letters, popular shops for rent, every 10 steps we take. The building behind me is the cultural building. Maybe you don't know much about the cultural building, but I'm sure everyone knows there used to be a McDonald's downstairs in this building. There must be quite a few people who have taken photos with the McDonald's statue downstairs. Let me briefly tell you about this cultural building. It opened for business in 1989 and its annual turnover exceeded 14 million in the 1990s. Just imagine how glorious it once was. But it's no longer possible now and the whole property is being rented out. The Middle Street is standing at the crossroads of history.
我可能要活不下去了。
I may not be able to survive. It's already May. How many people are unemployed and lying in a rental place like me? I have been unemployed for half a year. My boss fired me before the new year. When I looked for a job after the new year, I was always rejected because of my age, unmarried status, and lack of children. Now, I no longer have the courage to look for a job. I spend every day lying in my rental apartment, watching videos, playing games, and only eating one meal daily. Once people stop working, they will lie down in the rental room, watching the balance in their bank cards decrease day by day, becoming more and more confused. I feel so failed at the age of 29.
现在是凌晨
It's 3:49 in the morning. I'm lying in bed counting sheep. The more I count, the more anxious I become. I am one of the top 30 university master's degree holders. I have graduated for almost 5 years and will soon be 30 years old. Every day I'm either brushing Ji Lian or brushing boss, brushing to the extent that I want to vomit. I send out at least dozens of resumes daily, but either they are read without response or there is no follow-up after the interview. People around me also say that it's difficult for graduate students to find a job and that if you are in a sunset industry, it's futile to struggle. Sometimes individuals feel really helpless facing the general situation. And if you look at the job openings now, many require applicants to be under 30 years old. Every time I see this, I feel chilled to the bone. I want to change my career, but I have no experience. Lie flat, can't afford it. Age and education level are increasingly becoming a shackle that traps myself. Every night I toss and turn and can't fall asleep. My mind is full of car loans and mortgages. Don't know how many people are in the same situation as I am. I feel like I'm collapsing when editing my resume late at night. Every time when receiving rejection after an interview, my face seems calm, but I'm actually very upset inside. I wonder how many people are in a similar situation as mine. Grit your teeth, keep going, and persevere as hard as you can.
酒后情侣在沈阳
We, a couple born after 1995, work in Shenyang. My boyfriend earns $620 a month and I earn $900. Since our monthly expenses are quite high, I decided to set up a stall part-time with my boyfriend. Last week, my boyfriend and I finally decided to learn how to make tenderloin patties. We had been planning to go back to our hometown, a small county, this week to learn the recipe. But my boyfriend suddenly told me today that he didn't want to set up the stall anymore.
那当时咱俩不说的挺好的吗？
Didn't we have a good agreement at that time? Why did you give it up now?
当时不是没想
I hadn't thought thoroughly at that time. Now that the stall will be open soon, step by step, I feel a little reluctant to go. You only make $620 a month and you are not willing to deliver food or be a designated driver. How can we maintain living on this little money? I think it's a bit embarrassing to run a stall. Fine, you win. I'll go by myself then. I plan to go back to my hometown next weekend and learn the craft there. My boyfriend has been hesitant and had thought he was too busy at work and didn't have time. These past 2 days, I've been urging him to check if there was a suitable small tricycle for the stall. I just found out today that he actually felt it was losing face to set up a stall and said that the business couldn't make much money. After hearing that, I really didn't know what to say. I don't mind his low salary because I think a low salary now doesn't mean it will be low in the future. As long as he has no problems with his character, it's fine. The blogger said she had never thought there was anything shameful about setting up a street stall. No one on the street would pay attention to what the stall owner looks like. They would only remember whether they like the food you sell or not. If her boyfriend doesn't want to do it, then she will do it herself. As the weather is about to get warmer, she plans to go to her hometown as soon as possible to learn the craft to set up her stall when the weather gets warmer.
在沈阳找了4个月工作。
I have been looking for a job in Shenyang for 4 months but couldn't find one. Today, I have to pay the rent, but I have no money, so I had to call my parents and ask for $560. When you have just graduated from college and started working, would you feel comfortable asking for money from your family? But if you don't do it, you'll have no source of income when you have no job. Some people may think that after I graduate from college and start working, I can give $140 to my parents and $200 to my family every month after receiving the salary. But after I graduated, I found that it was completely different from what I thought in school. For example, I studied new media operations in college. In the internship positions our school found for us were basically telemarketing, selling small cakes for Hollyland. It's quite difficult to find a job you like nowadays. After he told me this, I was surprised. I never thought this would be the case for driving an online ride-hailing car in Shenyang. Not only can you not make money, but you might even lose money. This guy rents his car, which costs $18 a day. He has to charge it twice, which costs about $12, so the cost for one day is $30. I asked, how much did you get today? He said, I haven't even earned $30 today. I said, why don't you buy a car yourself? He said, I just want to try this business. If I just buy the car directly, won't I lose more money? He said, if it hadn't rained today, I wouldn't be able to run at all. It's the off-season now and there's no one here. I asked, are there also peak and off-peak seasons for online ride-hailing? He said, yes, once students start school, it's the off-season and no one takes taxis. Winter and summer vacations are the peak seasons, but the peak season has not been so popular recently. The overall environment in Shenyang is really bad now. I recall that there were really people coming and going after 7 o'clock every evening, all of them going out to eat or something. But it's really not the case now. People seem to be staying at home because going out means spending money, but money is not easy to earn.
84年，41岁。
I'm 41 years old and I've been unemployed for a year and a half. Today, I went for interviews at 2 companies and was rejected by both because I was too old. When I opened the recruitment software, it kept recommending me jobs such as food delivery, express delivery, housekeeping, and security. Maybe 41, this age is labeled and we are only qualified for this kind of work. If we are still not accepted in the professional workplace when we are 40 years old, what should we do? Now in Shenyang, if your salary is over $700 and you also have Social Security and Provident Fund, you should just work hard. Don't compare yourself to others. Most people are halfway up the mountain and you have already surpassed 90% of the people in Shenyang. I'm going to tell you about the current situation in Shenyang and you may not believe it. Many large companies are laying off employees or cutting salaries and many small companies have simply closed down. Many of the unemployed people are family breadwinners over 35 years old. They have worked in the same position for more than 10 years and have long been accustomed to working from 9 to 5. Who would have thought that the weather would suddenly change and it's now cold? They don't have any special skills, so they could only drive online ride-hailing cars. Now the situation is reversed and they have to work from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. sitting in the car all day long. I asked several guys who drive online ride-hailing cars and their answers were basically the same. They have to drive at least 12 hours a day, otherwise they make no money at all. They can only earn $20 a day and they dare not take any time off. Do you know what will happen if you suffer from excessive mental stress when unemployed for a long time and cannot find a job? Now nothing I eat tastes good, can't sleep when I want to sleep, and no energy for anything. My mother heard I was suffering from a sore throat, so she bought me a pineapple to help me cool down. Today, we're going to visit a store that is counting down, China Resources Vanguard on Lianhe Road in Dadong District. It's said to close in half a month. Let's check it out together. When it comes to Chinese Ranja, everyone should be familiar with it. When it was the most popular, there were 18 stores in Shenyang. Since 2023, some stores have been closed one after another. Currently, there are only the Yellow River Street Store, Dao East Store, and 2 high-end stores left. The containers on the opposite side are all empty. You see, the refrigerated and frozen products are all 50% off. Whoever buys will get a good deal. You can also find a lot of good things. In fact, in recent years, not only China Resources Vanguard, but also Carrefour, Walmart, and Tesco have gradually closed some stores. Looking at the past glory, you can feel a little loneliness. Perhaps it's a change of era. After a stroll, I bought some tea and corn as a souvenir for myself. However, I heard that Happy Farm will be moving in soon, so everyone can look forward to it for a bit. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.